Hey guys, welcome to the second April New Releases reading vlog. If you missed the first one, that is where we read a bunch of romance. We read Great Big Beautiful Life, Say You'll Remember Me, and The Conditions of Will. And while they were all romance, they told the romance story in such a different way in each book. I had so much fun with that reading vlog. So if you want to check it out, I will have it linked down below or as a little pop-up in the corner. So with that, this reading vlog is all about fantasy. And we are going to be kicking it off with Enchantra by Kaylie Smith. This is the second book following Phantasma, which I gave 5 stars. I've heard a lot of people love this, so I'm like, no, but how do you love it more than Phantasma? That's what I want to know. So I am so excited to dive into this. I also went to a signing the day of the release. She had one down in San Diego, so my friends went, and I actually have this personalized and signed by her, which is just so cool. It also came with an art print of our 2 main characters, which is so exciting, and then also a sticker that said, "I stayed up all night with Rowan." So Rowan is our main male character. I saw the stand-up. If you follow Kaylie Smith on Instagram, she posted the cardboard cutouts she has of the main male character in Phantasma and then Rowan here. Yeah. So with that, I want to dive into this book. It's the next day and I'm ready to finally start this book. I was hoping to get to it yesterday, it just didn't work out, but I have about 45 minutes to an hour before my friend comes to pick me up, so I want to go ahead and at least start this book. I made my matcha this morning. Yeah, my friend and I are going to a coffee shop, and I know that that coffee shop doesn't have matcha, so I was like, I miss my strawberry matcha. I made the strawberry puree yesterday, and it's just so good. So I'm going to sip on that, read this, and then hopefully I will have time to update you guys before I head out and wherever I stop, but if not, I will update you when I get home. I just stopped on chapter 5. Can I just say that I'm so glad Kaylie Smith is bringing back chapter titles. We already have the kind of spacers in this where it said the day before the spring equinox or whatever, and then it goes into the chapters, and then you probably get day 1 of whatever and then goes into more chapters. But she also has chapter titles. Chapter 5 is called Spectre. I just love that. It just adds to a story. I wish we just always had that. Bring it back. Thank you, Kaylie. But I want to go ahead and talk about the synopsis real quick because I don't think we touched on that. I know I said that this is the second book following Phantasma. This is Genevieve's story. Genevieve is the sister to Ophelia, who book 1 was about, where they were in the Phantasma games, but you're really following Ophelia. Here, we're following Genevieve, where she is going to this house called Enchantra. I honestly don't remember the full synopsis, so that's kind of where we're gonna leave it, but just know we are continuing after Phantasma. We are now going to this house called Enchantra, and you are following Genevieve and our main male character, Rowan, which I believe is that grumpy grumpster that we just met and we are already attracted towards, because one thing Kaylie Smith knows how to do, write a grumpy, borderline mean in the beginning man that you are instantly attracted towards. Yes. So that's kind of just where I'm at. She just reached she just reached Enchantra house. She had those initial grumpy interactions with a mysterious man, and I love it. So I'm gonna go ahead and pack my bag and head out the door, but we will definitely do some more reading today. So I've just reached the 25% mark of the book, and I was reading the back to make sure anything I talk about here is something that's already disclosed to you, because I know I kind of touched on this book, but now I have a better idea of what's going on. So they talk about it here again, but we already know this from Phantasma, that Genevieve's mother has died, and Ophelia, being the older sister, has inherited the mother's gift of being a necromancer, but Genevieve, being the younger sister, is kind of now left a little lost after Phantasma. She's like, what should I be doing now? I feel like I have so many questions about my mother and no one's able to answer these. So she ends up finding an invitation to Enchantra that is sent to her mother, but the person that sent it, there's also this picture associated that she's like, I just feel like this person knows my mom. There's this picture of them together, and I just feel like this person may be able to answer some of the questions I have. So that's what makes her go to the estate, the cursed palace in Italy, frozen in time. Yeah, It is not a welcoming embrace. That's where we meet our main male character, Rowan, who I mentioned in the last update. Like, he is grumpy. He is not really being a very kind soul. But she is now in the estate, and it says Enchantra is a twisted labyrinth where Rowan and his 6 siblings are trapped in a deadly game at the mercy of a twisted devil and his ghastly spectators. Only one occupant of the house can survive. Genevieve now must win or die. So not only is there only one winner, but there's also only one that survives. So Rowan is like, listen, if you want to win, if you want to compete, you gotta go as my wife. You gotta compete as my wife. We have to get married. Little absurd. I agree. Genevieve did not react well to the situation, but there's a method to the madness. So they have to also convince everyone that's watching these games, like it says the devil and his ghastly spectators, that they are like in love for real, that they're married and in love, and this is all like a choice they were making rather than like the little hoax or last minute plan that came up. And so that is what we're going to see from our main 2 characters. At this point in the book, we just had the wedding. We just had the wedding, and the games are starting now. So I am very excited to see what the next like 50% of the book is going to be, how these games are going to compare to Phantasma, because Kaylie Smith does not shy away from like the blood, the gore, all the things when describing the scenes in Phantasma. So I feel like it's going to be the same, if not worse, in here. So I'm excited to see how it plays out, and I feel like the next 50% are going to be so like game heavy, and then the last 25% would be kind of like wrapping up the book. So we will see. But yeah, let's dive into the actual games. I have not moved from the spot. I've just been sat here devouring this book. I have just reached, I think, like a little over halfway, maybe like a 55%, but we are starting on round 2 of the hunt. Yeah, it is so good. I feel like I'm just like flying through it. It is just so like quick to read. I feel like pretty fast paced as well. I'm having a great time. Like Rowan and Genevieve, we're just like getting these subtle moments. Obviously, we're gonna see this romance, you know, just like blossom, if you will, but they have to have those moments of being able to like be vulnerable with each other, also protect each other, because they have to have elements of trust in each other in order to win this game. And so I'm just like, I'm loving those little kernels, while also having the family dynamic of the fact that they're all technically trying to kill each other every year, you know, can probably lead to some emotional wreckage, some emotional trauma, you know, decades of that going on. So it's a great time. It's currently 3 o'clock. I am just gonna probably actually make a little snack or something because I am a little hungry, and then I'm gonna continue reading. I'm a little over 75% of the way in. I am about to start round 4 of the hunt. So I think I updated you guys after round 1, right? So we have had 2 more rounds since then, and it's just so fun to read about. Like, I mean, people are dying, you know, and like everyone's going after each other and everything, but like, take that away, you know? This is so fun to be a part of. It's so fun to read. It's so just like bingeable. Like, I am flying through it. I do not want to put it down. I'm really loving our main characters. As I said, I think in my last update, you know, we're having to see our 2 main characters be put in more situations where they have to trust each other. They have to be vulnerable. Why is that such a hard word? For no reason. I'm just loving this. And so I'm very excited to see how this ends, because, I mean, they need to win, right? Like, we know what is on the line here. They need to win. But more than that, devils always have games. So even if they win, like, what does that mean? You know? So I'm nervous for the devil's work at play here, but also like so excited because Kaylie Smith's mind is so fun to be a part of, and her creating this world. I love it. I love it. Like, absolute chef's kiss. Also, still loving the fact that we have chapter titles, and I love that she includes these like breakup pages. So we have like round 4 of the hunt, and then we have like the chapters with the titles as well. I just love it. I love it. And it's different than Phantasma, but still has the same feel. So it's like I don't really have this feeling of like, oh, I'm loving this more than Phantasma. It just feels different to me. But I'm having the same like feelings about it, like where I'm loving every second. I want to continue. I love our characters. I love the world. I love the games. Yeah. Okay, let's go finish this book. As you guys saw, I just finished Enchantra. I was going through it. You guys watched me read the last like 10 to 15%, on edge the whole time. I was crying at several points. I was so nervous the entire time, just like, how is this book gonna end? So good. I mean, Kaylie Smith, ma'am, how dare you? But like, so good. I feel like this ended in such a way that has me highly anticipating the next book, while Phantasma ended in a bit more like cleaner way, wrapped up with a bow. You saw breadcrumbs of certain plot points that you're like, oh, I'm sure that's going to resurface or like play a role in other books later on. But like, this ended in such a way that like, I need the next book now, like yesterday. And so that kind of sucks because I know we're not going to get it for a while, but like, this was so good. I was also like a little worried on how this was gonna be with like Phantasma. Like, okay, you're just following, you know, the other sister. There's also games. Is it gonna feel like a copy paste? Is it gonna just feel the same? Like, no, to me, this felt different. Like, the games are different. Our main characters are different, like with their personalities and everything. Like, this just felt like another Phantasma. It's not really comparable in my brain because the games were so different and the characters, like personalities, are so different. You have the different dynamic of like this being like everyone's a family in here versus the other ones are just like a bunch of competitors entering Phantasma. So I really loved how these work together. I can't say like, oh, I like this one more than the other because to me they're just like so different. I love them both equally. Thank you, Kaylie Smith. Just thank you. That's all I really have to say. I am gonna go and just really like process the fact that I read 90% of this book in one sitting today. That had to have affected in the best way my experience with this because I was so just like locked in and immersed the entire time. I never once thought like, oh, I'm on a little bored, like maybe I'll put this down and pick up something else and then I'll pick it up later. Like, not once. I opened this book up today and I was like, we're finishing it because I can't put it down. And that's exactly what happened. But because I read so much in one sitting, I'm just gonna go like take a minute and sit down and really just absorb how amazing this book was. And then I will see you tomorrow when we start our next book. It's the next morning and I'm about to head to book club, so I wanted to update you guys on the next book we're reading. I was caught between House of Blight and Fearless, so those are the last two in this reading vlog, and I decided on House of Blight. This is one that now that it's out, I still haven't seen that many like opinions or reviews on, and it was something that I saw a few months ago on a random like, you know, new releases for 2025 list, and I remember reading the synopsis and thinking that sounds interesting, and I added it to my list, but frankly, I don't remember what the synopsis is right now, so I'm gonna take that as a sign to go into it blind. I don't want to go like look up opinions on Goodreads or look at the synopsis again. Like, let's just go into it blind. So we're going to book club, we're starting this book, and I'm so excited. home after being out all day, and I have my first reading update for you guys on House of Blight. I am 45% of the way into the book. Now, I do wish I could have updated you guys around that 25% mark like I have been for all the other books in the new releases vlogs, but that just really wasn't possible today. I read the first like 20% at book club this morning, and then my friend and I went to a coffee shop where I did some work on my laptop, and then when I sat down to read, I was like, I really want to read this book. And so am I just gonna read past the 25% mark because I'm out on a patio, there's cars driving everywhere, and there's like people coming in and out? Like, it was just too noisy, and I probably wouldn't have allowed my brain to like focus to even give an update. So I was like, do I stop reading at 25% just because I can't give an update, or do I continue reading because I just want to read this book? Obviously we chose the second. So here I am, 45% of the way in and ready to talk about it. So you guys know I went in blind. I finally know what this book is about. Now, I don't know if the synopsis would have answered one question that I'm still kind of confused about right now, and we'll get to that. So we have our main character, oh my gosh, her name, Adira. See, it's not normal, that's why I forget, okay? Adira is a thread mender. Now, being a thread mender is this magical ability to heal people, but in doing so, she is essentially giving her life threads to them. So she is shortening her life every time she uses that. So she's also learned just basic like healing things that's like remedies and like serums and things like that, like different ways. That's like an apothecary kind of vibe. And so she doesn't want to use her power. She doesn't want to be known as a thread mender. Like, she doesn't want to be identified or like found out in a way. So she's been like hiding her whole life. But that comes to a quick end in the beginning of the book when her two brothers catch this disease called Blight. And the Blight is something that takes your life quickly, and it's something like no one knows where it's coming from, no one can cure it, like she can't even cure it as a thread mender. And so she sees that her brothers have caught it, and it terrifies her. Now, she has just had this interaction with our main male character, Oren, who is an Ever, capital E, think of it as Fae, pretty much, and he sees that she is a thread mender, and like he can kind of, I think, see the magic around her as she's trying to maybe heal her brothers or something. I don't exactly remember, but he identifies the fact that she is that, and so he tells her that his magical gifts can prolong their life, and if she agrees to come work at his house as his thread mender and work to find the cure for the Blight, then he will like use his gifts to prolong the lives of her brothers, because he can't also cure them. Like, his Fae powers, if you will, like they can't cure the disease either. So this way they prolong the boys' lives so that hopefully she can find the cure and save them. And so like that is the bargain that is made. And so that's what you're following, her at that house trying to find the cure. And she's not the first thread mender that's been there, and so she's having like all their notes to go through and figure out, and just like using the history of what's already been kind of found out about this disease. Now, our main character, Oren, is the first person she meets, and that's like our main male character that we're seeing first. And he is like this sweet guy, and he isn't innocent by any means. He's very flirtatious and everything, but he's overall kind. And so she is like attracted towards him, like, and like to him, just like, wow, he's so nice. And then we have our other main male character called Rorik, R-O-R-I-K. He is grumpy and mean. And so it's confusing because I don't know if we're supposed to have a love triangle. This is the first book in a series. I don't know if we're supposed to have a love triangle. I don't know if it's this slow burn where it's going to be more clear who she's like pining for by the end of this. Because it's not like real romance going on at this point. I feel like it's just like a bunch of flirtatious moments kind of between both of them. So that's what makes me think this is supposed to be a love triangle, which is not normally my thing, and I'm a little nervous about that. But overall, I'm enjoying like the premise of this book and like the family dynamic, because the family dynamic at that household is messy. Messy. And you mix like magical abilities and like Fae-esque, like it's just chaotic. So it has been a great start to this. I'm excited to continue it. I need to kind of like wind down though. I need to make some dinner. I'm definitely hungry. I didn't have like a real lunch. It's like 5:45 or so, so it's like early enough to start dinner, or late enough to start dinner. So I'm gonna like do that, kind of get settled, and then I will pick back up this book. It is the next day. It's actually in the afternoon now. It is 2 p.m. but I'm finally like done with work, done with other, or at least taking a break from all the other like cleanup, pickup tasks I was doing today. and I'm ready to finish House of Blight. So I just want to sit here and read. I'm still at that 45% mark, but the book is relatively short and I have the rest of the day. So I figured I'll just sit here and I will update you guys when I reach about that 75% mark. I was talking with my friend about it because here's the thing. I am really interested in like our main female characters' like abilities and like the plot of the Blight illness and curing that, and just the concept of a thread mender and the fact that if she wants to find this cure, like she needs to like be able to train in a way, you know, like practice, I guess is the better word. And every time she practices using her actual magic, then her lifespan is getting shorter. And like, I don't know, like that concept is so interesting and also just like devastating to think about. And so I'm like very intrigued by that. But like the romance going on, no. I do feel that I don't think is it supposed to be 50-50? Like, is it supposed to be like a romantasy? Because I just don't really like feel chemistry with our main female character in really, like I feel more of a chemistry-ish with the grumpy brother than I do with the other, because even though like Oren is like just super proper and nice and yes, like kind of has, you know, a swagger to him and it's not like he is innocent, but it's not like I feel like chemistry with her and him. Like at least the other brother like pushes her a bit more and like really he wants her to succeed in a different way. Like he's not gonna baby her. So I can see like that romance building, but it's not like I see chemistry necessarily with either of them. Like, but I feel more when she is interacting with Rorik. So it's just like a weird thing. But I did find out it's a duology. So, and I did look up the synopsis and I saw that Rorik is never even mentioned. So am I scared? A little bit. Like, a little bit. But nonetheless, we're gonna continue on and I will see you around that 75% mark. Just reached chapter 20, so I'm officially 75% of the way into the book. I am really enjoying this. Since we last talked, couple things. Okay, the plot is plotting. I'm really enjoying everything that's happening. In the synopsis, you are also told that there's a secret that our main female character learns, and so we have officially learned that secret, and I feel like that definitely changed, like, I don't know how to explain this properly. It's not like it changed how our main character is like acting or what she's doing, but since that reveal, you start to see all these like cracks in like just what is going on around us, and you just know that like something just isn't right, like with all the people and how everyone's acting, and you're just like, what am I missing? And I think like that is what we're really going to find out and see in the last 25% of the book. So I'm very excited to see how like the main plot of this finishes up to carry us into the second book of the duology. And as far as the romance, okay, I don't love a love triangle. That's just like not my vibe, not my scene. This isn't too bad because I feel like when it comes to one of the characters, I'm just like, okay, like we're just like glossing over it, but it's also not like a main driver in the book. So it's not addressed all the time, but I am still getting those bits and pieces of her with like who I want her to be with kind of thing. And I'm like, no, but like, we see it, right? Like Adira, sweetie, like you see and feel what I feel and see, right? Like we're on the same page. So I'm curious how that is going to wrap up at the end of this book, to where I'm hoping there is no love triangle situation happening in the second. but like I'm not hating it. I'm getting bits and pieces of what I want while still seeing and understanding the logistics of like both, because it's complicated. It's complicated. Yeah, I'm very curious how that's gonna wrap up, but I see the light at the end of the tunnel, I think. So we'll come back when I finish the book and we'll see if I eat my words. Wow. Wow. Okay, yeah. Okay. So I finished House of Blight. What a crazy last 25%. Yeah, okay. The rating on this one is gonna be hard, because that last 25% was really good, and I am very excited for the second book. Wow. I guess I would have to say that if you read this and you are kind of like at tug of war with yourself on how to feel about it, it is not that long of a book. If you find yourself enjoying any part of it, like I found myself like really enjoying like the main plot, right? It was the romance that kind of gave me this tug of war feeling of like what's going on here. And if you feel similar, I would say to just write it out. Like, it's not some 500-page book or more and you're just like, it's not worth my time. No, like I would say it's worth the risk, because that was fun. Like by the end, I was like, this was fun. I don't know how to really like talk about this book, but I feel like I talked enough about like what the plot is. You kind of got glimpses of how I was feeling throughout it, and you see how I feel at the end. Yeah, no, I'm excited for the second book. I'm glad that it's a duology. The ending, like, so we had like the ending of things wrapping up and you could just be like, wow, like, wow. And then you get a glimpse, like you think you have a hint of like what book 2 could be, right? And then the very end, you're like, oh shoot, this is a lot more than I signed up for. And that makes me very excited for the second book. So I would say overall success, I'm gonna have to sit on this rating, because like I think even through the 75%, I was like probably like, I don't know, 3.5, 3.75. But that last 25% was so good that I'm like, you deserve to be more. But how much more? I'm gonna sit on that. I have to do other stuff today. I mean, we're already nearing the end of the day, but we are gonna be starting Fearless tomorrow. So I'm very excited for that. But I'm happy to also just like sit with this book for tonight and like embrace everything that I went through in the last 2 days. I read this in 2 days. Like as much as I read Enchantra in a matter of like one sitting, like I'm still impressed with the fact that I was really just like sat for 2 days and just read this, and it really didn't take that long. So, okay. I mean, I recommend it. I will see you tomorrow when we are starting Fearless. We we are officially into our last book, and I have hit the 25% mark of Fearless. Wow. Okay, it's just like this feeling of starting a new book, starting something highly anticipated. Also, this being the third book in the trilogy, like, once this is done, it's over. And that is just like, there's some giddiness to that. I fear, though. I fear. So we're here for the first update. Also, like, I'm just kind of like back to filming. It's been a couple days, and so I'm just kind of like excited to be reading and filming again. But first update of the book. I loved Powerless. That was fairly early on into my fantasy journey, and I just ate it up. I was buddy reading it. I feel like that back and forth of like voice memos and like, oh my god, that quote, I just loved it. And then we had the novella that is like of Adina's character. It's the same timeline as the first book, but you're just like following her journey. Ate it up, one sitting. It was so good, so impactful as a novella. Wow. And then we had Reckless, the second book. Yeah, right. I didn't love it. I didn't. I feel like that isn't an unpopular opinion. I feel like it was like hit or miss. I feel like some people, like, it was 5 stars for people, or it was 3. Like, I didn't feel like I saw many like 4-star vibes. I feel like it was, oh my god, this is so good, I loved it so much, another 5-star. Or it was like, what did I just read? I was kind of in that boat. But like, I loved her characters so much, like Kai and Peyton, so much that I was like, no, but like, it doesn't matter. Like, I mean, you still get like a 3. I think I gave it like maybe 3.5 or something. Like, I loved just being in their world. But like, the plot of that, I was like, what is going on? Now enter Fearless. We are wrapping it up. This starts at the immediate like end point of the second book. So, you know, there's no like gap in between. You are kicking it off right where it ended, which was like a whoa, confused moment for me personally. But that's where we are in this book. So I can't really speak on the plot of it. So that sucks. But I do fear to admit that I feel like I'm having the same thought or like feelings as the second book, because the first one I felt like I was like giddy this whole way through, and I just like couldn't wait for any conversation that they were gonna have, any of the banter, any of the dialogue back and forth. I just found it so good. And I don't know if it's just like this isn't comparing to that, like I can't, it's not living up to that, or if it's just like that was an experience I had so early on into my fantasy journey that like I've now read so much other fantasy that like I just am learning what I like and don't like. Like, I have no idea, but I'm having mixed feelings on this so far. Like, I'm vibing. It's just like not this 5-star feeling by any means, and I'm like scared. So we're only 25% of the way in. This is definitely like the longest book that she has for this trilogy, so we'll see. I'm nervous because to me, I felt like Reckless could have been a novella, honestly. And so I'm like, okay, but is this going to be too long? Like, am I going to feel that same way? So kind of an in-depth first little thought here, but I feel like this is a highly sought after trilogy, widely loved, widely like opinionated on, you know what I mean? So just sharing my 2 cents here, but let's continue on. Hopefully my update's a little better at that 50% mark. I think it has been a couple days since we last talked. I am about 30% of the way into it. I couldn't do any reading yesterday, but the day before, I think I had read about 10% more. So I'm hoping to get to that 50% mark, if not more, today. I want to finish this. I would love to finish it tomorrow, and I think I can if I just like prioritize my time. So that's what we are hoping for, but I am really eager to see like the next 50% of this book, because yesterday I was at the LA Times Book Festival and I was talking with one of my friends, and she was like 75% of the way into it, and she said like they just had this big reveal and it was like so good, and I was like, okay, so I have like something to look forward to, because remember, I'm not like loving it. I'm liking it I think I'm liking it more than Reckless at this point, but I'm still relatively early on into the book, so we'll see how this like continues, but I'm eager to see kind of like how I feel about it and if I shift into like loving this book. One, I'm feeling so sleepy. It's almost 5 p.m. and I've just been like reading for the last hour? I don't know. But I'm now about that 50% mark. I'm on chapter 34. I wish so bad that this was a spoiler vlog because like I have thoughts, I have theories, I have opinions, and I just want to say them all. But they would all be spoilers. So I just have to keep my mouth shut. So where's my like I need to be able to close this book. Okay. Here's the thing. I think I know a reveal that we are going to eventually get. And if that is true, it's supposed to be this like kind of big thing. But why do I just feel like, okay, and like it's a very confusing time for me right now because I am liking certain parts of this and like I'm intrigued by certain parts of this. I'm curious how other things are gonna like continue or wrap up or like what's the end goal here, what's gonna be next. But like I feel so bad saying this. I think there's just like this subtle part of me that is just like, I don't care. And that is so sad because I loved Powerless and Powerful so much. Like, I think I would have loved it as a duology because like at this point, I feel like I'm just like so out of the story. And that makes me feel so bad. Which is just my opinion on the book, so it's like, it's not that deep, it's not that serious, everyone has different opinions. But like, it's just kind of like unfortunate to have something that like you gave 5 stars and like you love so much, and then it just like slowly dwindles, you know? So that's like kind of where I'm at right now. I'm like gonna continue. Again, certain moments. I'm like, oh, I'm vibing with this, I like this. And then others, I'm like, I'm being taken out here. Or like, if this is the reveal, then like, okay. So, yeah. We'll see how this goes. I'm going to continue reading. So like, I'm just going to sit here, lock in, reach that 75% mark, and then I will probably give you an update in the morning. Like, I won't go beyond the 75% mark. I'll just give you an update in the morning, and then we'll finish this book because how much time is left on the audio? It says I'm technically at 48% in case you're curious. It says I have 3 hours and 41 minutes, but again, it's 5 p.m., so I don't want to be reading for the next nearly 4 hours. So I'm just going to try to reach that 75% mark. Yeah. Okay. Yikes. We can do hard things. We can do this. I will see you guys in the morning with my next update. It is the next day. I have showered. I actually feel on top of the world with just like freshly washed hair. Amazing. Okay, we are here because I am 75% of the way into this book. The whiplash I am having on how I feel about this is, yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna try my best to like convey this in a way that will make sense, but has no spoiler information. So in Powerless, you know, you're following Peyton trying to hide in her ordinary lifestyle amongst all these elites. She's going through the trials and all the things. And in Powerful, you are following her best friend, Adina, in the same timeline as Powerless, and you're introduced to just like more depth of Adina and like people she meets on her journey. And it's just like those two books meant so much to me. I have such like an emotional, I feel like, connection, impact, all the things with those two. And like from that novella, we just have like all that information that is in there, and technically some of it that is in Powerless, because again, same timeline, so you ultimately understand like everything that's happening in those books already, you know. Okay, so that stuff that happens and like goes on and revealed to you, all the things, like it's brought back up here in such a way that like I still have that same like emotional attachment to everything that went on, and like I feel those same emotions when like the topics are brought up or those people are, you know, in the picture or saying things or whatever. Like I feel that emotional, like just care, I guess. Like I care still so much for all of that. And so like when that stuff is resurfacing, like I'm caring a whole lot. And then we have the other parts that still subtly take me out, but not all of them are taking me out. I think it's his nickname for her. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's not the vicious little thing, because like valid, but like it's the other one. I don't like it. I feel like I just get the ick every time. So if we just like take that out, I feel like there's a lot more scenes with our two main characters that like I'm not getting taken out of the story. I'm not feeling the ick, and that's positive. But something like just really big happened, and I'm like, oh. So I'm really scared to see how this goes. Also, there's this like lingering mystery with one of our other characters that I'm just like, what is that reveal gonna be? Like, I don't really have a theory. I have a theory on this one reveal I think is gonna happen, but like the other of what's going on with one of the main characters, I have no idea. I don't know how much I care, but like I don't even have really like a theory about it. So I'm very curious how this last 25% is gonna go, because the last like 25-ish% that I read, like when my last update to you guys was like, I feel like I'm just not caring. I found a lot more moments of me caring. So that was huge. That felt good. But I'm still having these subtle things that I'm still like, ooh, stop. So we'll see how this impacts, I guess, my full rating as we finish this book, and just like all the reveals happen, all the closures, all the things. What is Lauren Roberts gonna do? I have finished Fearless. What a journey that was. What a journey that trilogy was. While I did just finish it, I feel like I have enough of an understanding of how I feel about this book to just talk about it. Just talk about it and wrap up this video. I feel like the last 25% felt very similar to my last update, where I had moments that I like felt a lot or cared more, and then I had equal moments of like just not caring. But it's so hard because of the times I cared. Like I cared a lot, and like I either hurt a lot, or I was giddy, or I was crying, or I was laughing, like felt like I was in it. And so I think because of that, I do want to rate this 4 stars, which sounds weird, honestly. Like it feels like it should be like a 3.5 or something, but I think I found myself in a lot more caring moments than I did in Reckless. And I think I gave Reckless like 3.5 or 3.75. So I think 4 is a good rating for this. And I would say like the trilogy plus the novella overall is like a 4-star experience, because there was some stuff that happened at the end that like I just like didn't care about, and that felt weird. But I also like liked how things happened. I liked the cards that she pulled, like her being the author pulled to like round out this trilogy. I'm like, you made a choice, but like I like that choice. So it was just like it was so weird of an experience, if I'm honest, because of how like my journey with the trilogy was. And like I really didn't have high hopes for this book. I was kind of going into it like blind, like in the sense of feeling and even what the synopsis was supposed to be. Like I never read the back of the book kind of thing, but like it's still a good end to the trilogy. It's just, it was ultimately like nothing special, and it kind of sucked seeing my like emotions for the trilogy just like slowly dwindle. But like I still recommend, like if it was interesting to you at all, like if you're curious at all how stuff ends, like go ahead and read it. Get the audiobook if you just want to be able to listen to it and you don't want to be like, I don't know, if you want to be multitasking the whole time. I don't know. But like I would love to know people's thoughts on this, because I have seen a lot of mixed reviews. I've either seen people give it 5 stars or like DNFing, and I'm like, whoa, okay. Okay, and if you see something different or lower than a 4-star rating on Goodreads, no you didn't. No you didn't. I don't think we circled back on House of Blight. So let's conclude this fearless chat, kind of jump into the concluding thoughts of this video with the book. So we started out with Enchantra. Yeah, we did. That was a 5-star experience, something completely different to me than Phantasma, but like equally 5 stars and comparable. Love. Then we read House of Blight, which I have like the vague memory of just like liking like certain points, not caring about other. The like love triangle situation was like not my vibe, but like the ending of it had me very intrigued, and I learned it's going to be a duology, I believe. So I'm excited to see the duology and like what that will be, because yeah, like the ending, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So I want to say 4 stars, because I was really intrigued by like the blight, the sickness, the healer's capabilities, and then the ending was really good to me. So I think 4 stars is a good one for that. And then Fearless, it really was like just that book alone doesn't feel like I can just like rate. It's not like a 4-star book to me. It was probably like a 3 to 3.5 star, but because of the emotional depth I have in the connection from the first book and that novella, it really pulled through to like increase the rating here with like those moments that happened were very impactful for me, that were like, you know, resurfaced in Fearless. So I feel like that is what ultimately elevates it to a 4-star. I think that's kind of where I'm leaning. But it was weird, because obviously this experience in reading the 3 fantasies was very different than reading the 3 like romance new releases in the other video, because I think that was like all a success. Like what, it was like 2 5 stars and like 1 4.25 or 4.5 or something. Like it was still like a great time. This, I had a lot more like confusing emotions, a lot more up and down, like what am I actually feeling about this book and like what is going on. And that was a roller coaster to go through and film and have to figure out how to talk about. So thank you for trying to stick with me here. Hopefully it made sense. Like hopefully things just like kind of made sense. If you read any of these books, please let me know if you're looking forward to them. Obviously no spoilers down in the comments, please, but if you want to talk spoilers, you can always message me on Instagram and we can kind of have like a little back and forth, because I feel like I'm curious about what people thought about each of the books. Like the ones that I loved, the ones that I was like, what is this? And then the other, like, I don't even really know how to feel. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.